Federer is out in the first round of Geneva, but you know what? He does not leave today without making a big statement to himself and to the rest of the tennis world. Uh, I think, at least for me, he answered the question of why is he playing? He is not playing to win on the clay. He is playing right now to win Wimbledon. And I made a live broadcast saying, I really don't understand why he's playing on clay and he should just save everything for Wimbledon. And after watching today's match, I feel differently. Talked to my buddy Matt Bradshaw from Coffee Break Tennis. If you guys know Matt from Coffee Break Tennis, he has the best tennis talk show on the internet. I'm gonna go through some of the things that we talked about because we were kind of texting back and forth watching that match. And so many, I think that's why people like Federer. Let me know what you guys thought as you come on in. What did you think of Federer's performance? If you're watching the replay, we are live right now. If you're watching the replay, definitely want to hear from you. What did you think of Roger's performance today? My mind was all over the place watching today's performance. I started out the match very skeptical, going, why is Roger doing this? Like, is this going to be that this is the last time we see him play on clay and he wants to play the French Open for that? Like, what is the motivation for playing on clay? Why is he doing this? And then when the match started, you see him working his way into the match, and it's just so cool to see him play. And he always just looks so amazing when he plays. His serve, I'm thinking right off the bat, man, that serve is still so special. Got tons of pop. Placement's amazing, crushing forehands, beautiful backhands. But then as the set wore on, I'm like, okay, Roger, you got to start getting more balls in play. Uh-oh, Roger, you're starting to shank a lot of shots. Oh, no, Roger, maybe you shouldn't have played today. Maybe this wasn't the right thing to do. And then the first set came and went, and I'm getting super concerned. And then the first game of the second set was his absolute worst game of the entire match, where I'm like, oh, this is a disaster now. Now I think he's losing all confidence and looking like he's going to go out in straights easy. Diego says Andujar's been playing well on clay, so it was a good challenge for Fed. Yeah, good challenge for sure. I mean, Andujar won the match. But here's where I'm going with this, guys. One thing that shows how special Roger is like the second or third game into the second set, Roger showed that he could have won today. In my mind, let me know if you disagree. He could have won today easily if he wanted to. If he would have, which is a very interesting debate, and I think as tennis players, we always struggle with this. Do we play for the win today, or do we play the way we think is the right way for the future? And I think Roger's future goal is on Wimbledon and not on the clay. I think he basically played a grass court match today on clay, but he didn't want to go out in straight sets. He wanted to win, but he more wanted to win his way playing grass court tennis on the clay. That's how he wanted to win. Now, once he saw that wasn't working, he moved way back and he started returning balls near the fence, just like Djokovic does, and just like especially Rafa does. And he started hitting higher and heavier like Rafa does, and like Djokovic doesn't hit that high. But you understand what I'm saying? He started to play a lot more spinny. And he actually looked pretty awesome. He looked awesome to me. And what was interesting is he can hit winners doing both. Like for most of the match, he's hitting laser beam winners to where the margins are super thin. And this is how he likes to play on grass. And he was coming to the net a lot. Very, very high risk, high reward tennis, taking the ball early inside the baseline. But when he moved back and started hitting high and heavy, he looked awesome. He looked like the typical clay court player, and he was able to even hit some heavy topspin winners with shape. So he could have easily done that the rest of the match. I think especially once he won that game, if he didn't figure it out before that game, once he won that game, if he wanted to just win for today and just like say, okay, this is how I need to play more on the clay. If I'm going to beat these players who can keep a lot of balls in play, I need to play further back. I need to play more spinny. I want to win this match. You know, like Rafa and Djokovic, they're playing to win the French Open right now. So they're playing their A game to win on clay. And so when they were against it with Shapovalov and Tsitsipas, like they're playing and yeah, Shapovalov and Tsitsipas, perfect, right? When they're playing that style, they're playing their A game on clay, trying as hard as they can to win that match on clay and to figure out the way that they're going to play their best tennis on clay. Roger, after he broke him that game, went right back to playing right along the baseline. It's like he almost reminded himself, like, yeah, okay, now I think I could beat him if I just kept playing that way, but I want to see if I can beat him playing the way that I need to play on grass to win Wimbledon. You know, he made a big decision today. He made a big decision today that I am not playing to win the French Open. That's just not going to happen. And I need to get my time for Wimbledon. So Fed needs to play more matches. 38% first serves, just not good enough. Maybe he has lost a step getting to the ball. Well, first of all, Roger has not lost a step getting to the ball, guys. If you watch him play live, he moves around like it's a completely different experience. I got to watch him at the Australian Open. Completely different experience watching him play live. And one of the things is the announcer said, man, he is just moving all over the place. Like he flies out there. Roger flies. He still is moving great. Federer has a long way back to play his best tennis. I am very worried. So here's what I'm reading so far. I'm reading that people are not feeling as good as I am. I'm reading that Federer has a long way back to play his best tennis. I'm very worried. Maybe Federer has lost a step getting to the balls. Ollie Payton says 38% first serve, just not good enough. Federer needs more match play. It just hurts to see him lose after being up a break in the final set. I saw Murray give more trouble to Rublev a couple months back than Federer did to Andujar today. He is finished. Wow. Is this how you guys feel? Okay, guys, you've got to watch the match differently than what you're seeing. All you need to do is go back, if you can, maybe if you have tennis TV or whatever, you can watch the replay. Go back to the game that he broke him in the second set and watch the shape that he was hitting on the ball and watch the way he was strategically playing. And what he basically told himself that game was, I'm playing to win against Andujar right now, and this is what I need to do to break and win the second set. Then once he did that, he basically played roulette the rest of the match. He basically played like, okay, I can beat him like that, but if I want to get better and win on grass, I need to roll the dice, and I need to play grass court tennis on clay. That's what Roger did today. Don't you guys see that? Another one. The era of Roger Federer is over. Well, the era of Roger Federer is over. He's not going to dominate the tour anymore. He's 39 years old. But I thought Roger made a very, very important statement today. He said that he showed me, because I was wondering, why is he playing on clay? Why is he not just going to the grass? And he's playing on clay because he needs match play, and he needs to feel that energy of what it's like to go out there with a tour player and face the pace and the pressure and all of that. But he's not doing it to try and win matches on clay. That's what he obviously showed today. I'm going to share the screen here because I want to give this guy credit because he's one of my best buddies, and he has one of the best shows on the internet when it comes to tennis. And I want to read you some of the things. I mean, no one really – there's very few people that study Federer's game the way that – let's see, where is it? Watch Ian play the MEP today. That's going to be a good match. So here we are. This is my buddy Matt from Coffee Break Tennis. If you've never watched Coffee Break Tennis, it is a great tennis talk show. And so we were texting. And I'm going to read a couple of the text that we went through today. And let's see, where did it start? We texted a lot. I go, are you watching? I made a joke. Are you watching our boyfriend? What do you think? Because we both love Federer. And I said, I'm going to go live after. I'm going to go live after the match. And he says he can win Wimbledon this year. So as Matt was watching the match, he goes, he can win Wimbledon this year. I go, really? Why? What are you seeing you like? As long as he has no setbacks, he can do it. The game is there, spectacular. Return is a little off, but I think he mostly has his nerves and had nerves in the first set. And after the first break, he's playing amazing. Same in the third set. Guys, from the middle, what was interesting is he broke him by playing clay court tennis in the very beginning of the second set. And then he kept staying ahead of him by playing grass court tennis and playing extremely high risk, high reward tennis, but he was just playing so damn good that he was still winning. Same in the third set, and then he holds in 30 seconds. He started to win games easy, until the very end. And so I basically agree with Matt. I was saying, I think he is looking good. And then I asked him, do you think that he should play the French? I said, should he play the French? He says, yeah, I think. He felt like it helped him in 2018. He talks about you got to construct points better and hit harder to win on a slow court. And it's great prep for Wimbledon. It's like, this is a great line. This is what Matt came up with. It's like running with weights and then Wimbledon, you take them off. Okay. So I think that is the method behind Federer's madness to this. I think he is looking at the clay as, when you're training or you're trying to lose weight and you put weights on and you go running. I think that's how he's looking at the clay. He's like, yeah, I could go play clay court tennis and I could maybe make a semi-run at the French, but I'm probably not going to be in good enough shape or have the game to beat Rafa on clay or Novak on clay. I think he's realistic about that. So he's like, so I'm going to look at the clay court season like I'm carrying weights on my back and see if I can win. How many matches can I win playing grass court tennis? He's trying to win. I mean, he didn't want to lose today. He certainly didn't want to lose, and I think he thought he was going to win. But he was winning by playing very, very high risk, high reward tennis. I mean, if you've ever watched Federer the last couple of years and you've been live, it's very impressive how close he stays to the baseline. There is no room for error there. And the margins he plays with. I mean, he hit a completely different ball in the middle of the second set. It was completely different. And so if you're worried about the shanks, right? If you're worried about the shanks or you don't think he's moving as well, it's a different type of movement to take the ball that early. When he moved back off the baseline, it became apparent that if he did that, he would have got better and better at that as the match went on. And he can play consistent tennis like that. If you think he's just, he's erratic and he has no timing, it's because the timing is so much tougher to do what he's doing, which again shows the genius of Roger Federer. It's a lot easier for almost everybody to stand 5 or 6 feet off the baseline and hit heavy topspin. And that's what he did to break him. But then he went back to, I've got to get my timing to win on grass. And he was hitting laser beams through the court. And for most of the match until the very, very end, it was working. But I'm actually encouraged by today saying, okay, I see what you're doing, Roger. I see what you're doing now. You are going to you're basically playing on clay to get some match experience, but you're trying to win in a grass court fashion. That's what I think's going on. Let me know what you think. Okay, I'm going to read some more comments. The era of Roger Federer is over. Jason Bourne says, Pete, I can't believe this was not prime in UK. Andujar is clay court player. This is a setback, but a stepping stone. It will get better. I do think it's a stepping stone, and you gotta believe superstition now. Your prediction tends to jinx a player. No harm. What do you? First of all, Jason, what matches lately have I got? I might have picked one wrong. I picked Nadal to win Barcelona. I picked some tough predictions in If you go look at my Barcelona picks, I was right almost every single time, and I picked and I picked Nadal to win it. I was completely right, pretty much in Rome. I picked Nadal to beat Zverev after he lost to Zverev. I think the only pick that I missed was Tsitsipas versus Djokovic after Tsitsipas was up a set in the break. That's the only that's the only pick I've missed. And after Djokovic beat Tsitsipas, I said he'll come back today and he'll beat Sonego to get to the finals against Rafa. So I picked that. And then I picked Rafa to beat Djokovic. So how am I jinxing people? You got me all upset. You got me all upset because I've been pretty damn good with my picks lately. And I pretty much didn't even make a pick on Roger today, his match. I was like, it was more of like a motivation, like, why is he playing? Why is he doing this? As a Roger fan, I was concerned that maybe he shouldn't be playing on clay and he should just go all out for the grass. But now I see his method. He's trying to play grass court tennis on clay, thinking that if I can win some matches playing this way on clay and feel what it's like to play at full speed against ATP players, I'm going to have my best chance at Wimbledon rather than continuing to practice on my own and play with B and C level players, and then just hope that I can step up my game on the grass in a couple weeks. So that's what I'm seeing. Let's see here. Diego says, Fed fans are so easy to go into a panic. That's right. That's right. All the Fed fans would be selling off all your Bitcoin at this point. And I'm hodling. Let's see if I'm right on that prediction by the end of the year. This was Roger play on clay as well in 2019. That's right. Federer is done, says another person. If he stays back and then he loses the drop shots and easily gets the volley angle. I'm not sure even what that means. But if Roger would have stayed back behind the baseline today, he would have destroyed that guy easily. He looked very, very good on staying back. But he, you know, I don't think you guys are understanding the high risk, high reward tennis Federer is playing. And I think he knew, like, even at the end of the match when it got to 4-all, he tried to go back again, but he didn't quite have his timing there. So that gamble didn't pay off of playing close to the baseline because he couldn't just flip on a light bulb and break him at the end of the match. That's what he tried to do. He's like, okay, it's 4-all. Let me go back and try and win again. And that play backfired because he was just a little bit off his timing. You know, I bet if he would have done that a little bit earlier in the third set and stayed back further, and if he would have played his service games a little more conservatively, he probably would have won the match today. But he just kept, you know, basically playing like Russian roulette out there, but in an effort to you know, get that timing and that style of play that he thinks he needs to win on grass. Let's see this. He is playing Roland Garros, right? I'm not sure if he's playing Roland Garros, but I asked Matt from Coffee Break Tennis. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. It's awesome. I asked Matt if you think he's going to play the French Open or should he, and he said yes, he should. Before this match today, I was thinking Federer should not play the French Open. It's too risky. he's had knee issues. What's the point? You're not going to win on the clay anyway. Why play the Geneva Open? Why play the French Open? But now he has convinced me he's doing the right thing. I am, and I don't care if Roger, loses in the first round at the French Open, or loses in the quarterfinals or the semifinals, or even if he wins the damn tournament, which will not happen. But what I'm saying is, no matter how far he goes on at the French Open, as long as he can keep getting his timing more dialed in to taking the ball early and winning, some matches with this very, very hyper aggressive style of play, he definitely gives himself a better shot on the grass. That's my opinion. I think so. Okay. Be realistic, people. Federer is playing to keep up his brand value. It's money, baby. Whatever. That's the dumbest comment I've ever heard. That's not. You think Federer is playing just for the money at this point? Come on. That's stupid. That's a stupid comment. Let's see here. You are right, coach, says Tennis Love. Fed serve and backhand were awful. The knee injury took its toll. What the hell are you guys watching? Federer served great. I mean, do you understand the level that he played today for not playing for that long and playing that brand of tennis on clay was very impressive. His timing improved. Now, when I watched the first set, maybe you guys turned off the match after the first set or something, but when I watched the first set, I could agree with some of the comments I'm seeing coming in now. Maybe you got frustrated or scared and you turned off the TV after the first set, because yes, the first set, he was shanktastic. He was shanking a lot of his forehands, backhands, missing a lot of balls. That's because he was playing so high risk, high reward, and he didn't have that timing. And then he went and he played a clay court game to break. And then all of a sudden, like magic, his serve was incredible. His volleys were great. His backhand was really good. His forehand was amazing. The timing that it takes to hit the ball the way he does, this is why people say he's the GOAT, because it's just so freaking hard to do. There's no way Djokovic and Nadal, even though I think Djokovic is the greatest player of all time, or the GOAT because of just stats for the last 10, 12 years, there's no way Djokovic could play this style of tennis the way that he is and take it that early, that consistently every single point. That's why people think Federer is the GOAT, because he plays the hardest way to time a ball you can possibly do to consistently be on and win matches. It's tough. Okay, let's see another one. I'm not worried. Fed got to Wimbledon semi in 2016 on one leg. Slow clay on a cold day isn't his thing. Yeah, I agree with you, Richard. And what I think people are not understanding is slow clay with Roger playing to win today. If Roger's like, hey, if it's all about the money for Roger, like somebody commented below, if somebody said, hey, Roger, if it was all about the money, he would have won today, because he wants to keep making more money at that tournament. But let's say money was important, or let's say he had some kind of threat against him, where it's like he's playing for his life. Federer would not have played that the way he did today. He would have, after he broke that guy one time by staying back and hitting heavy balls, he would have done that a lot more. He would have probably still tried to mix it up the way Fed likes to do, but he would have played back more often and hit heavier, higher traditional balls like you would do on clay. And you could see that he was very good at doing that. Okay, don't waste your time responding to silly comment. I agree, but I just can't resist it. And I do like to, when I'm getting heated too, guys, I'm not really mad at you guys. I like to get in tennis debates. I hope you don't take it personally. But yeah, I like to read the comments and respond to the good and the bad. Should Federer ask Novak for a wild card in the Belgrade? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, at first, I did not think it was a good idea to play on the clay, but after watching him today, what I do feel is I do feel like he's healthy. I feel like he's fit. I think that fitness is not an issue. I think that the knee is not an issue. I think the only thing that's an issue after watching today is the timing went in and out at the wrong time. If he could have just held that timing for a couple more games, everybody'd be on here singing Rogers' praises, saying he's amazing, saying he's still got it. All it would have taken is a couple more games for him to win, and everybody here would not be freaking out. Just like, imagine if Nadal lost to Shapovalov. Nadal could have easily lost to Shapovalov, and then what would everybody be saying about Nadal today? Oh, Nadal's done. He's no longer a clean clay. He's getting old. This is definitely his last French Open, and he's not going to win. That's what everybody be saying if he lost to Shapovalov, which he should have lost to Shapovalov. Shapovalov played better than him. It's just that Nadal is a super freak competitor, and he figured out a way to win. So, yeah. Federer could have easily won today. And if he would have just played more clay court style tennis, he would have won. And he knows that. Everybody knows it. How deep do you think Federer will go at Roland Garros? I think you cannot predict how deep Federer is going to go at Roland Garros if he keeps saying, if Federer has in his mind, which I think Federer really showed his hand today. If Federer keeps playing the way that he played today, where his mindset is, I'm playing super aggressive, I'm not backing off the baseline because I'm trying to get my timing right for Wimbledon, you just don't know. He could win a couple of matches. He could go out first round. If he decides to say, I feel good. Maybe I can make a run at the French, or I really don't want to lose on the clay, and I really want to win. Like, if the competitive, how to beat, Federer was not worried about how to beat the person in front of him today. That was clear. But if Federer gets into the French Open and he looks across the net and he goes, how do I beat this player today? What is the exact game plan I need to employ to beat this player across the net from me today? You're going to see him, I guarantee you, play a little more conservative and play off the baseline and be ready for longer rallies if he wants to go deep on at the French. So we don't know if he's ever going to do that. He might not. I don't know. I almost hope he doesn't, though. I'm fine with him doing exactly what he did today and losing, but continuing to get his timing right for Wimbledon. I really want him to go far at Wimbledon and win Wimbledon this year. I don't think he can win the French Open. Tennis Love set. Okay. Richard Hall says, his game doesn't look that bad. He's missing execution. Yeah, but he see, that's the thing. He executed a hell of a lot, though, today. He executed a hell of a lot. It's not the money, ha, ha, ha. Not at this point in his career is it about the money. Of course. Come on. That we know everybody loves money. Everybody loves to make more money, but I don't think Federer's playing for the money at this point. And if he was just playing for the attention, if Federer was just playing today for the attention, he would have put winning over his style of play, his decision to play the way he did, and he would have played back. He would have played more defensive. Federer in the French Open is great. Back in 2019, he reached the semis. Yeah. The Federer Express. Don't see what people are saying. Serve was great. Backhand was great. Footwork looked just fine. Just got a little bit tight at the end. Not sure what people are saying. Totally agree with you, the Federer Express. Agree with you 100%. He played great shots. Just made a few errors toward the end. His skills are intact, obviously. Yeah, skills are there. Okay, so now people are coming with more positive comments. Federer's serve would be good enough to win him the first week at Wimbledon, and that would be fine. Absolutely. And I think Federer is definitely playing to win Wimbledon this year. I think he showed today that he has serious intentions of trying to win Wimbledon this year based off the way he chose to play today's match. The Iceman, Fed played actually great in the second set, and he did. Federer played great in the second set, and he played great for about 80% of the third set. Okay, it was just he just fell off at the end and made a couple loose errors, but that can happen so fast when you're trying to take everything right off the bounce. He could have easily earlier in the third set decided, I'm going to play for the win and stay back and hit the ball higher and heavier. I mean, that's the debate. That is the great debate of every tennis player struggles with is like, do I play to win today? Or do I accept the fact that I might lose today, but play the right way, whatever the right way is in your mind, right? For most people, playing the right way is most people feel that like they play too conservative and they're playing just to win and they start pushing. And even though they win, they don't feel good about it. I think Federer's version of that in his mind would have been continuing to play deep back in the court and win that way. But I think he told himself, he's like, that's not Fed brand tennis. Fed brand tennis is coming early, taking it early, letting it all fly. And that's the way I'm gonna either win this match or go out. I think that's what that was obvious, the decision he made today. Time to retire. He will finish his career third best. Maybe he will consider. I mean, if he finishes his career the third best, does that make him a loser? The guy's won 20 Grand Slams. Like, I love how, like, let's say Federer finishes, which I think he is going to finish probably third in the Grand Slam race, right? But without Federer stepping out first and making all these gaudy Grand Slam wins and being number one so many weeks and winning as many tournaments, he might not have inspired Rafa to go to the heights that he went to and Djokovic. Okay. And so Federer could go down as number 3 in the history of the game. That's not bad. And Federer will easily go down as the most beloved tennis player ever. And no one will ever be close to that. That's one thing I don't think anybody will ever surpass him in. Okay, he will go down as everybody's favorite player because no one plays like Roger. And Roger gave us, even today in defeat, he gave us the exact reason why we love him, because he made a lot of the sick shots that no one else would even attempt and could make. Even Nole, as a Nole fan, I love watching Fed the most. He's a phenomenon. Yes, thank you, Sunflowers of Inferno. Great handle name. The idea is simple. Trying to catch the train. He needs matches. It's not about preparing for grass. It's about getting into work again, to check the knee, getting the opportunity to play. Exactly. Very good. I agree. Let's see what else we have out there. Federer is such a clean player, says Truly Tennis. And now it's better before the season hits the courts. I can see he's playing very cautious on his knee. I don't think he played cautious on his knee today, guys. What you guys understand, and maybe I didn't even fully understand until I watched him live, is the way to play, the way Federer plays, taking the ball this early, it's a different type of footwork, but it's a very super aggressive footwork that requires you to be fast as, I want to say the F word, because that's how fast you have to be. But I know there's some younger people who watch my channel, but you have to be fast as F to play the way that he plays. And he was doing that very well until the very end. The first set, he was shaky. But then from then on out, he played great and just kind of, had a bad game. I don't see Federer winning another slam. You might be right, Pat. He might not win another slam, but what he's doing right now is, and I didn't feel this way before the match. I was really kind of saying, I hope Federer didn't play on clay, but because I wanted to put all his eggs in one basket of the grass. But what I do like about today is he's shown that, yeah, he might not win another slam, but he's sure going to try. He's going to try and win Wimbledon this year. Now, might he fall short? Sure, of course. But he's trying and asked for. It's hard. I feel like Federer is a bit off crucial points. That I cannot disagree with. That I cannot disagree with. That is the one thing that maybe he doesn't have as a superhuman power like Novak and Rafa. As at times on big points, he can shank them out. But also because he doesn't give himself that margin of error on big points. He doesn't. On a big point, like Rafa, lots of times when he was against Shapovalov, he would play far back and just, it's like, I'm not gonna miss. You're gonna have to hit a winner, and people couldn't do it. Novak does that too. I call it lockdown mode. Novak goes into lockdown mode where he's not necessarily hitting a ton of winners. He goes into like, I'm not missing now forever. Roger doesn't play like that. Roger's always like, I'm rolling the dice and I'm coming at you constantly. And so you're going to miss some shots, especially under pressure when you play like that. So I think it's just the decision, the style of play that he makes that makes him miss more on big points. I think Roger's going to maybe do round of 32 or 16. Is that what we're saying at the French? And I think that'd be fine. Why do you think Roger was staying far back on the second serve for most part of the match? He didn't do it most part of the match. He did it only when he wanted to break and when he wanted to win big points. But for the most part of the match, he stood way, way in and played super aggressive, and that's why he lost. But I think he was practicing for the grass. There were a couple of games during second set where he played like 2017 Ozzy. That's true. He hit some amazing backhands down the line. Now he needs consistency. I don't think he does. I don't think he's aiming for consistency. I think he's trying to get his grass court game going. On grass, it's still a certain look. On clay, he's going to have to play long. He's going to have to play longer points to make a run at the French Open and to win matches. He's going to have to grind, be more of a grinder than he wants to be. But on grass, he can still dictate and go straight to the finals of the French with 5 balls or less rallies. He does not need to go longer than that. So I think that's what we're seeing him work on right now. Richard Hall, I think if he makes second week at Wimbledon, he might definitely be in the semis or the finals. Yeah. I was very encouraged by what I saw today by Roger. Not discouraged, by the way. Federer needs more training and matches, getting timing to improve his movement. Yes, I agree. BJ says, makes sense, coach. I was wondering why so risky play by Fed. Yes, that's exactly why. He's trying to win Wimbledon, guys. He's not trying to win the French Open. If he wanted to win today, I 100% believe he would have won today. And if you've watched me, guys, I'm usually pretty objective. Like, right now I'm sounding like Fed boy because I am Fed boy, but I've also let you guys know that, yeah, I think Federer is my favorite. I mean, Federer is my favorite player, but I think Djokovic is the greatest player of all time. So I try and be as objective as I can be. And I am not worried at all about Roger after watching today. I think it was a good performance. And I think I really saw why he came back for the clay. And it's not to win on clay. It's to win on grass. Okay. Who do you think is better? Fed 2006, Djokovic in 2011, or Rafa in 2010? I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know, Diego. It's an interesting question. I think you do have to look at the I mean, you could also throw in or McEnroe in 1984. I might pick McEnroe in 84 over everybody. But over the whole career, I'm going with Djokovic. I think Djokovic is the GOAT. Grand Slams are now the only aspect measuring tennis skills. He has the most deserved game of the top three. Well, he has the most fun game to watch. He played. It's the hardest to play like he does, at least timing wise. I mean, from a physicality standpoint, it's not the hardest. You could say that might belong to Rafa, but from a timing perspective, Roger's game is certainly the toughest to do out of the big three, and to consistently be on that. It's very, very tough to time the ball that early against everybody you play against. I think he will surprise us and many haters at the French Open. He might surprise us at the French Open, but I don't think it's about that. I think we got to look to the grass. Played a little casually, I thought. No, I didn't think he played casually at all. I'm going to disagree there. I think he played frickin' hard. And I think he just made a style choice that he's playing to get his timing on the grass. Doesn't mean that's casual, guys. Let's see. Need just matches. That's it. Okay, I agree. Federer cruised in the semifinals in 2019. Today he lost first round Geneva. He might improve, but at the moment doesn't look great. I'm going to disagree. Federer needs forehand confidence. Disagree. He wants to play shorter points, but he knows he can't play long points. Disagree. Federer doesn't want to play long points because he wants to win Wimbledon. If he wanted to win today, he showed us what he could do. Did you see him when he decided to play back? Did you see how all of a sudden he got so consistent? Did you see how much sting he had on his forehand heavy ball? What was awesome is he started to look like Djokovic and Nadal on the clay for a game. And he hit winners with that. He wasn't missing. He looked comfortable. He didn't look like he was struggling and breathing hard and like, oh, I can't keep this up. No, he did that for a game to say, let me just break this fool and then go right back to my game and see if I can beat him with my game. And then he made a decision to pretty much not go back to that style until all of a sudden it was 4-all in the third set. And then he tried it again, but it didn't work. But if he would have tried that consistently the rest of the match after he broke him the first time, I think he would have beat him like 6-2, 6-2. But he wasn't trying to do that. Come on. Don't you see what I see? His style of play is still so beautiful. He's playing shorter points on clay in 2019 as well. Right, because I don't think he's trying to win on the – he obviously can't do it anymore. No, he's trying to win Wimbledon, guys. That's why. Djokovic lockdown mindset versus Feds is a great point. Yes. He plays more aggressive to win. Roger cannot go into lockdown mode because of the single backhand. Disagree. I think he just has made a decision at this point in his life that he's rolling the dice and he's trying to win quick points, and he's mostly thinking that his best shots when he's healthy and when there's not a damn COVID situation, his best shots are Wimbledon and maybe like US Open and Australian Open, the hard courts, the faster courts. There's rumors that he's preparing for the grass. Of course he's preparing for the grass. Fed has not played in a while, and Merck is saying, WTF, we have bills to pay. That's not it. Come on, guys. Really, Djokovic the best? Question mark. Yes, Djokovic is the best. Go look at the last 12 years of tennis. And you can't make the argument that Federer and Nadal were not in their prime when Djokovic has been kicking their butt for the last 12 years. So, yeah, Djokovic is the best. As a Noli fan, Roger has the most beautiful style of tennis. How many tournaments do you think Roger should play to fully be prepared to beat Novak at Wimbledon? I think it's I can't make that statement. I think Roger, as long as he feels fresh, should play as many competitive matches as he can, and I think he should keep trying to play grass court tennis on clay so he can play his best at Wimbledon. That's what I think after watching today. If Rafa wins French, then he must be the GOAT. That's true. If Rafa wins the French Open and has 21, he will be the GOAT for sure, and you can't debate it. My argument of Novak being the GOAT goes out the window. But if I had to bet who's going to end up with the most, I'm going to bet Novak. And who's been the most dominant player over the last 12 years? It's Novak. There is no GOAT. Well, there is a GOAT. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. There are GOATs, guys. Tom Brady's the GOAT in football. Roger was playing a lot of offensive tennis today. He's peaking for Wimbledon. Yes, Andrew, exactly. Roger was playing a lot more offensive today. Oh, that's the same one. Experiment is not going to help if he's going to lose. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You don't need to win all the time. What's going to prepare him better? Okay, let's take this argument. Experiment is not going to help if he's going to lose. What's going to help him more prepare for Wimbledon? Staying 8 feet back, grinding out points, grinding out winners, going to the net about 50% of the time of where he is going to the net now, and losing in the semifinals of the French Open. Is that better preparation to play Wimbledon versus, playing the French Open, winning 2 or 3 matches, playing grass court tennis on clay, and then someone takes you out because you refuse to back off the baseline, but now you feel you've been able to feel ATP pressure and physicality and improve your timing even that much more going into Wimbledon. I argue I'd rather him lose in the second or third round, refusing to change his style of play rather than stay back. If I'm just rooting for Roger, I'm going, Roger, I want you to win today. I would beg him to stay back and play deeper, heavier balls. That's there was a part of me today that just wanted to see Roger win. And so as a coach, I was saying, just play back, Roger. Just play back and hit heavy. You'll win easy. But he was showing me, no, Pete, I'm not going to do that. I want to win Wimbledon. So I'm like, okay, Roger, I'm with you, buddy. I agree. You're right. I'm wrong. The assessment is all about reps. You can either enter a body contest without reps. The measurements of the outcome is only about flexing muscle. Yeah. Pete is the most objective out of all the tennis YouTubers. Thank you. Fed needs to train with top 5 players if that's possible. Yeah, and the only way it's possible for him to train with the best right now is to play on the clay. And I think that's why he decided to do that. Serve had some nice pop. I agree. Would he have won best of 5 today? I don't know. I don't know. On grass, he would have. On grass, he would have beat the guy in straight sets today. And I think that's all we really should be worried about. Do you think Federer is the best tennis player? Do you think Federer is the best tennis player right now? No, I don't. I think right now, at this very moment, Rafael Nadal is the best tennis player on the clay courts, going to the French Open. He's playing the best tennis in the world, and he's going to win the French Open. That's who I think is the best player right now. When they go onto the grass, that could easily change. Federer will lose first week at Roland Garros, then transition to the grass, see how it goes. He needs more matches and more conditioning. That could very well be. That could very well play out. Not enough endurance, but more timing. Right. I think he just needs more timing, guys. I don't think he was even tired today. Federer era is down. Do you think Fed can beat Djokovic nowadays in Wimbledon? I don't know. Right now, he can't. If he could beat Novak at Wimbledon, he would have done it. That's why everybody's always looking at Roger to win Wimbledon. I think Roger's best chance to win a Grand Slam is at Wimbledon. But if you're saying, hey, Pete, who's the best grass court player in the world? Novak Djokovic is. Novak Djokovic is the best grass court player in the world. Why? Because he's won more Wimbledons lately than Federer, and he's beaten Federer twice at the Wimbledon final, maybe even 3 times. How many times has he beaten Federer at Wimbledon finals? Can someone tell me that? I know it's at least 2. So I think Novak is the best grass court player in the world. I know it doesn't, that style, no one wants to hear that. Everybody wants to say Federer is the best on grass. But because stylistically, Federer's game just looks so good on grass and looks like it's built for grass. And Novak, still playing baseline tennis, doesn't look like the grass court prototype that we come to expect. But who won 5 Wimbledons in a row? Bjorn Borg. So really go analyze Borg's style. Does he have a traditional grass court style? And he was winning back in the days of, the fast, terrible, nasty bounces at Wimbledon. He was still winning at the baseline, beating McEnroe one year, beating the Aussies who'd come to the net, the Arthur Ashes, taking on all the traditional grass court players, and Borg would beat him. So, at that time, Borg was the best grass court player in the world. Right now, Novak's the best grass court player in the world. But Roger's best chance to beat the big 3 is to be the best of the big 3. It's at Wimbledon. And that's what he's got to go for. Come on, guys. Guys need to get a perspective. You are not going to go be the best after being out so long. Both right. I mean, think about how long he was out. That's what impressed me today, guys. He has been out so long. The first set looked shaky. And then within 2 hours, he improved his timing by like 1,000%. And think about how hard that is. And he showed that, look, if I stay back and hit heavy, the game's easy for me. I could beat this guy in my sleep if I wanted to. But he's like, no, I'm going to just keep playing this impossible timing that I'm the only one in the world that can do. See? Right? So for Roger fans who keep saying Roger's the GOAT, I'm going to give you this. He's the only one who can have it in his mind to go, you know what? I could win at the baseline, but I'm going to hit shots only I can hit and win that way. And to almost pull it off, that the most difficult of timing, to almost pull that off after being out for so long against a very, very good clay court player is impressive. And I don't think you guys understand how impressive that is. Let's see. He needs more matches, but if Federer loses early in the tournaments, it'll be difficult for him to win Wimbledon. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think he needs more matches, but I don't think he needs a ton of matches. In fact, I wouldn't want to see him play a ton of matches on the clay. I mean, I think if he can get 4 matches total in, and we keep seeing his timing looking good, and we don't see him get really tired. He looked tired. Was he in Dubai or Doha? Wherever he played, he looked tired. I mean, Daniel Evans wore him down in that match. So, yeah. He is 39. At some point, he will reach a break point where age will bring him down to other players' level. I think he is reaching there now. Maybe. But again, I don't think today you can make that conclusion. What would be your go-to tournament, Pete? Well, the ultimate is watching Roger Federer play on grass at Wimbledon and winning in 21. If I could have a dream, right? Someone would buy me a ticket to go to Wimbledon, watch Roger Federer play in the finals, and win and beat Djokovic. And I love Djokovic. Djokovic is absence of flaws. Yeah, I agree. Djokovic is a flawless tennis player. I agree. And he doesn't take on the risk that Roger does, which is probably pretty smart. It's smarter match in and match out to have a little bit of margin to your game. I think that's what makes Djokovic so tough to beat is I think he has what I call, I've said this a lot, I think Djokovic has the perfect rally ball. It's like that Goldilocks rally ball. We're looking at the top three. Federer's ball is too low and too fast to where, it's like being on a high speed rail or a racetrack, and eventually you're going to fly off of it, which Federer does from time to time, and that's why he loses. Nadal maybe has too much margin on his ball, so that when a Djokovic is on or an Alexander Zverev is on, they can take his ball that lands short and high and crush winners on him. Djokovic seems to have that perfect amount of spin and pace that when he's locked in, he's the most unbeatable player in the history of tennis. I'm a Fed fan, but Federer never beat Djokovic in Slam final after 2007. Wow, that's a stat. That is a stat. Not beating Djokovic, Nadal at this stage. GOAT, disrespectful to other greats. I don't know. It's not even about margin with Djokovic. Nadal has plenty of margin, but it's the total elimination of style. It's a machine, backboard, aesthetic. It's horrible to watch, says Peter Short. I mean, certainly, this is why so many players are well, we are tennis players, right? We're tennis fans and tennis players. Most of us, I'm sure, are watching this. And that's why many players and people will say, I don't care if Djokovic finishes with 50 Grand Slams, Roger's still the GOAT, because we like to watch him play more than anybody in the history of tennis. He is our GOAT. He is our greatest of all time to watch and admire. And that is not a debate. That is not a debate. Nadal is the most unbeatable player in the history of tennis. Come on. Well, ask Nadal that. Nadal will probably tell you, who the most unbeatable player is in the history of tennis? Djokovic. Nadal has gone into press conferences and say, after losing to Djokovic 5, 6, 7 times in a row, which Nadal's never done to Djokovic, he's gone into press conferences and say, he's in my head. I know it, you know it, and he knows it. Djokovic, in my mind, is the most unbeatable tennis player in the history of tennis. And Nadal, here's one thing. If Nadal wins the French Open, he's the GOAT. He has 21. But and it's an absolute freak of nature on clay that he's going to have 14 Grand Slams to match the great Pete Sampras on one surface. But if you look at what Djokovic has done, he's spread the love around a lot more, which shows he's more versatile than Nadal as far as he's won plenty of US Opens. He's won a ton of Australian Opens. He's won a French Open, and he's won a lot of Wimbledons. So, and he has a better record against Federer and Nadal. So to me, Djokovic is the most unbeatable player ever. Do you think nowadays Roger has a game to beat Novak? Well, he has the game to beat him. He's going to have to play his absolute best to beat him. Djokovic is probably going to have to be a little off his game, and Roger's going to have to hit the big shot at the big moment, which he hasn't been able to do in a long, long time. So the odds are not in his favor. But Wimbledon, again, guys, is his best and only shot to win a Grand Slam title. So I like him playing on the clay, and I like him playing like he's playing grass court tennis on clay. That's why I'm talking to you guys right now. That's basically all I'm trying to tell you guys. Nadal has surprisingly won more U.S. Opens than Nadal is very good at U.S. Open. For whatever reason, he loves the U.S. Open and not so much the Australian Open. Djokovic needs a second French Open to claim the GOAT. I don't think so, but it certainly wouldn't hurt. I don't think he needs it. Let's see. Is there any more I have missed? Any more great comments? The only way Djokovic not being the GOAT is if Nadal wins 3 or 4 more Frenches. That's true. Nadal could actually do it. And And also, I think really, here's what I think, guys. The only way Djokovic doesn't end up the GOAT is if he gets hurt, which we've seen that happen where Djokovic's been on a tear, he gets hurt, and a couple of his comebacks, one of his comebacks, he was struggling to beat, not even struggling, he wasn't beating journeyman players we had never heard of. So, you know, there's no guarantee that Djokovic finishes ahead of Nadal and Federer, because he could easily get hurt and be out forever, or get hurt and come back and never be the same. I mean, that could happen. Do you think Federer is finished? No, I don't. I think he played really good today. Oh, my dog is getting mad at me. Should we end this live stream? Last time I brought him on, he was like grumpy with me. Okay, this is B2. He's been grumpy on camera. He's growling at me right now. He's like, Pete, enough of the live stream. Walk me. Play fetch with me. Right? Okay, guys, thanks so much for being on here. Thanks so much for being on here. If you enjoyed this and this is your first time watching, we do lots of this, especially more lately. I've been on a roll lately coming talking to you guys. It's been fun. So if you like these tennis talks, debates, hangouts, subscribe on your way out, smash up the like button. And if you also want to get better at your own tennis game, check out a couple of my instructional videos on your way out today. Okay, so thanks so much. And I love the talk today, and I will see you guys later.